4:15 on Friday evening. Finished work a couple of hours ago, and I'm just approaching Fisherwick Lakes in Lichfield. I'm booked onto the Runswater until Sunday morning. There's no Mason this weekend, he's playing football tomorrow, so he can't come. But Marcus is coming, he's meeting me here in a bit. I haven't fished this pool for about a year, so I'm quite excited, man. If you watched my previous video about why I love fishing so much, you'll see why I like it so much here. Yeah, man, excited. I'm just approaching the cabin, so I'm going to go and get signed in, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. Peace. First thing I do when I get to any fishing venue is get my rods out. I wasn't really sure where I was going to put these rods because I hadn't seen any fish showing yet, so I just flung them out in spaces I thought looked pretty decent and hope for the best. What I didn't anticipate happening was this. Get a landing net set up.
Oh.
So my rods have literally been in the water about 5 minutes. I didn't even have time to set up a landing net and the cradle, so we've had to quickly do that. And it's tore off with this lovely little 9-pound linear. Not a bad start if I do say so myself. After that, we cracked open a few beers, and as the sun started to go down, I thought I'd better start setting up the rest of my stuff. You can see me run off to my rods there, because one of my alarms went off. Turns out it was just a little bream, so I just hooked it in the shallow water in front of my swim and put him back in. Not much else happened for the rest of the day, so we just chilled out and had some food and a few beers and relaxed. My mate Scott popped down for a beer with us, which was nice to see him as I haven't seen him for a while, so we had a good catch up. The morning came and the weather was a bit overcast, but there was some fish showing, so I stood there and watched the local residents swim around for a bit, made myself a brew, of course in my favourite brew cup. It was time to reset the rods. What I'm putting on here is Live System. I always use these little Calpol syringes to put the glug on because it creates a lot less mess. And then reset my rods. I've got my rods back out over the spots that I'd chosen, but then the rain set in, and this continued pretty much all morning into the early afternoon. So we sat in our bivvies and just watched the rain pass. Not too long after the rain passed, my right hand rod took off and I was into my second fish. This one kept trying to take me into the reeds on my right hand side, so I had to tighten my clutch up and bully it a little bit to keep it out of him. The rain's just stopped and I've had another take, second fish of the trip. Lovely little mirror. Nice little fish. I fed the dogs for a bit and then all of a sudden Marcus was away. Don't reel while it's running because it'll twist your line. This will take a while. This fish absolutely took off and took him all the way down the right hand margin, so it took him a while to get this one in, but it was well worth it in the end. As you can see here, I was absolutely buzzing for Marcus as this was his first ever catfish, and what a fish to catch for your first cat.
Christ, look at the size of it.
And of course, to celebrate his first catfish, we cracked open another beer. Well done, Marcus. The rest of the day passed and it started to get dark and gloomy, so we settled into our bivvies for the night. As you can see, I just had a few little bleeps, and then at 3 AM, every carp angler's worst nightmare happened.
Yeah, it is.
Is it a bream?
Ooh. We got back into bed and got some sleep, and the rain just carried on all night long. Pretty miserable morning. It's about 7:30. 7:30?
Yeah.
7:30. My rod went off about 3 o'clock this morning, and it was a bream. I don't think I'm going to bother putting my rods back out. I think we're just going to pack up. We got about an hour of no rain, so I think we're just going to utilise that hour and get packed up and go home, I think. I don't think it's worth putting the rods back out. Looks like we made the right decision, because it did start to drizzle again as I was putting my bivvy down. So like I said, we packed up early and left. The weather was pretty miserable through the night. So when I caught that bream at about 3 o'clock this morning, I didn't bother putting that rod back out. And when we woke up this morning, it was still raining. So I didn't bother rebaiting and resetting and casting back out just for the sake of 2 hours. So I didn't get out of bed till about 8 o'clock. You have to be off the peg by 10. So I just couldn't be bothered. I wouldn't really say it's a runs water, in so much that if you go and fish Mineral Lakes runs water in Bedworth, you will catch something every kind of hour and a half, whereas this one at Fisherwick's pretty tough fishing. Having said that, that's not me throwing shade on Fisherwick at all. It's a fantastic venue with some really nice fishing, as you can see from the quality of the fish that we caught over the weekend, albeit only 3, but they were really nice fish. And the staff there are nice as well, really helpful. I think the lad's name was Ben, who I signed in with, and I asked him for some advice on some glug to use with catfish baits, because I don't really fish for catfish very often, so I'm not too clued up on that. But, you know, he showed me a few different options and he was really helpful, man, so yeah, nice chap. And that also led to Marcus catching his first catfish, and at £31 it was a really good cat to catch for your first one. So yeah, definitely worth a visit down to Fisherwick. If you like the video, like it, share it, subscribe to the TikTok, subscribe to the YouTube, follow me on Insta, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the not too distant future.